ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगहन रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगहन ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, once again, welcome all the devotees for Bhagavatam class. So we will finish today this Prahlad Maharaj teachings to his classmates. Okay, before we recap some of the teachings of Prahlad last week, anyone can remember? Can you share?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, Lalita Mataji, yes.
Lord Vishnu is present as the three modes of material nature, Sattva Guna, Tamo Guna, Rajo Guna, and the false ego, though he remains eternally transcendental to them.
Okay, very nice.
We also had the pleasure of hearing the story of Durva Prabhuji, which you had sent in the other video.
Okay, okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to share? Okay, we'll quite quickly go through the slides we have seen. So Prahlad Maharaj is instructing we should start hearing Bhagavad Gita from the very early age, right? This we saw. And then we saw this all before classes, how the material world is compared to banyan trees, how the world the soul transmigrate to different bodies and get different kinds of sense objects, the 9 types of devotional service. We all covered these things. Okay, so these are all only one. So last class specifically we talked about, this ones. That how a person who is attached to family members, how he is earning money by different process. And also how they are entangled in this material world because they don't have any knowledge of Krishna. Therefore, Prahlad is advising to take shelter of the Supreme Lord. And then Prahlad describes the characteristic of the Supreme Godhead Narayana, that how he is residing as Paramatma in all living entities' heart. And just by engaging in 9 devotional service, chanting, hearing, remembering, serving, one can please Lord Krishna. So we saw all these things. And we also saw how the Supreme Controller is infallible, means Achyuta. He is never fails in his reciprocation with his devotees. That's why he's called as Achyuta, means infallible, and infatigable means he is not exhausted because he has to take care of all the living entities. So these all these things we discussed. Today we'll discuss from text 25. Okay. Oh. तुष्टे च तत्र किम् अलभ्यम् अनन्ताद्ये किं तैर्गुणव्यतिकरात् इह ये स्वसिद्धाः धर्मादयः किम् अगुणेन च काङ्क्षितेन सारं जुषां शरणयोरुपगायतां नः. Nothing is unobtainable for devotees who have satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all causes, the original source of everything. The Lord is the reservoir of unlimited spiritual qualities. For devotees, therefore, who are transcendental to the modes of material nature, what is the use of following the principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, which are all automatically obtainable under the influence of the modes of nature? We devotees always glorify the lotus feet of the Lord, and therefore we need not ask for anything in terms of dharma, kama, artha, and moksha. So, Prahlad Maharaj, now he is saying that what is the value of pure devotional mood? What is pure devotional service? Shuddha Bhakti. That he is telling that exalted devotees who has fully surrendered to Krishna, what is their mood? So he is saying that a pure devotee, he does not worship for any material benefits or a boon to go to heavenly planets or even liberation he does not want. He is so satisfied that by worshipping Krishna out of love, by worshipping simply the Lord, by developing pure attachment to Krishna, he achieves all other goals without even asking. Hmm. So the point here is that we need to understand Krishna is Sarva Karana Karanam. Hmm. The cause of all causes means from Krishna comes everything, whatever you want, wealth, knowledge, power, beauty, fame, renunciation, or liberation, whatever we are aspiring, everything is given by the Supreme Lord. Hmm. So therefore, if you just water the root of the tree, the whole tree is nourished. Same way, if Krishna is satisfied, then he will provide everything. Just like we saw in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, he wanted a kingdom greater than his grandfather. So he ultimately got. So the point here is that Krishna can provide anything for his devotee if he is satisfied. Hmm. So that's the point we need to understand. Therefore, devotees do not run after dharma, karta, kama, and moksha because that it can come easily obtainable. That is not the ultimate aim of pure devotional service. Hmm. So dharma means what? Religious duties and righteousness. And artha means by following dharma, by performing occupational duties according to the varnashrama system, one can get economic prosperity also and fulfill their desires and finally obtains liberation. But Prahlad is saying that we don't have to ask for Krishna all these things because Krishna will provide to his devotee much, much greater than all these things. These are all very petty things. Hmm. Generally, people go behind God for getting these things to be. Their idea is that somehow or other, if they get all these things, they can be happy. But actually, what we need is pure devotional service to be, which is much, much higher than it, can give us more happiness than anything else. So therefore, we need to understand bhakti is higher than artha, wealth. Wealth is automatically achievable. So Prahlad is not saying wealth is bad or evil, but we need not go and ask Krishna for wealth. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, four types of people approach him generally. Can anyone recollect who are these four people? Who are the four people who approach Krishna?
Who is after money,
Yeah,
and one is like that. Other is sannyasi.
or a inquisitive person. Yeah,
Yeah. The other two. Uh, I'm not getting it immediately, sir.
okay. So Krishna says that one who is inquisitive, one who is in distress, one who is searching for wealth, one who wants to, searching for the absolute truth, one who is inquisitive. So these are the four peoples who approach Krishna. So the Lord can provide whatever for his devotee, but if a person is interested, simply interested in pure devotional service, Krishna can give more than all these things. Yeah, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.22, Yoga Kshemam Mahamyagam Ananya Chintayanto Mam Yajana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhyuktanam Yoga Kshemam Mahamyam. I personally carry what my devotee lacks and preserve what he has. So bhakti is higher than kama. So all these things we will see now. So therefore, why devotees do not run after dharma, artha, kama and moksha? Because the reason is that it is not the ultimate goal. For a devotee, pure loving devotion, bhakti, that is what it gives ultimately. So bhakti is higher than dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So when we are doing pure devotional service, automatically we will get all these things, whatever required for the devotee, Krishna will provide. You don't have to go and do business with Krishna. Okay, if you give me this, then I will do more devotional service. That kind of bhakti is not pure devotional service. So like Kuchela, you know the story, the Kuchela, the Sudama story is there in Bhagavatam. He was very poor. So his wife told, your friend is Krishna and he is the king of Dwaraka. Why don't you go and ask for some help? And Sudama was hesitating to go because how can I go and ask my friend for money? That's not, pure friendship. But anyway, he decided to go. At least I can go and meet him. So he went and he took a small quantity of poha and chipped rice for Krishna. And when he reached Dwaraka, Krishna was overwhelmed to receive him. And then by seeing Krishna, Sudama was completely captivated and he forgot for the purpose what his wife has sent him. And he offered this little quantity of cheap rice, which is also was not in good condition, but Krishna accepted it because it was offered with pure love. Miraculously, what happened? Sudama's life completely transformed. Krishna, even without asking, Krishna provided all the material comforts for Sudama. So, a pure devotee is not interested because the reason is Krishna knows exactly what his devotee wants because he is in his heart as Paramatma. He will provide whatever is necessary for the devotee. But his main intention is what devotee's intention is to offer pure love for Krishna, and that's what Krishna is also looking for in his devotees. So, bhakti is higher than dharma. Why? Because good karma, prosperity, heavenly enjoyment all comes automatically. And just like Yeah, if you get a post of a servant of the king, then you don't have to go and ask him petty things. Everything is provided without even asking. Same way, if we become servant of Krishna, automatically Krishna provides the needs of his devotee. So therefore, pure devotion gives us eternal happiness and Krishna's satisfaction. That is the highest goal we are expecting. So dharma is also higher than artha. Wealth is automatically available. So there is no need to ask. Simply a devotee is interested in carrying the mission of the Lord. The devotee is simply interested how to please Krishna and he does not want to do business. Later in this Prahlad story only, after seeing Lord Narsimhadev will ask Prahlad, ask for some boon. Then Prahlad will say, my dear Lord, I have not come here as a businessman. I don't want to exchange anything for my devotional service. So simply I want your costless mercy. I want pure devotional service. So that is the highest thing. So bhakti is higher than kama. So materialistic people, they are very mean-minded. They only want temporary material happiness. So temporary material happiness, it's all, for some time. It begins very exciting, but then it takes you to the highest platform and then it ends. That is what material happiness is called Vishaya Sukha. But pure devotion, Bhakti Sukha is spiritual bliss. It is Anandham Buddhi Vardhanam. It increases every step. Hmm. So therefore, our goal should be what? Rendering pure devotion to Krishna. And that's what the great devotees, they do. So we may see devotees externally that they are not having any great material comforts. That's why many people, they by seeing the external condition, they think that what is there in bhakti, they are living in a very not in opulent position. Why? So they don't understand what is the real wealth of the devotee. The real wealth is Krishna. They have Krishna in their heart. That is the real wealth. That's why bhakti is even higher than the moksha. So some people even go endeavor for spiritual life to attain moksha, but moksha is also easily achievable for a bhakta. He is already in a liberated condition. Pure devotee, even though he stays in this material world, he is already in a right, liberated condition. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also speaks, he tells in his Sikshashtakam, what he's saying, Nadanam, Najanam, Na Sundarim, Kavitama Jagadishaye Kamaye. So, in the one of the characteristic of pure devotional service, moksha lagutakrit. Lagutakrit means pure devotion makes liberation seem insignificant. So, a child, he does not desire freedom from father. He only desires association with his father. Similarly, a devotee wants eternal association with Krishna, not just merely freedom from suffering. That's not the goal. Of course, for a gross materialistic people, some kind of impetus is required. So, in various places, this is mentioned that if you do pure devotional service, you will get moksha liberation. But that is for people who are not fully understand the path of bhakti. They are just beginning. So for them, some attraction required. That's why it is given in various parts of the scripture. But the real ultimate goal is what? For a devotee is to have Krishna as an association. Hmm? So therefore, real devotee's desire is what is to achieve the lotus feet of Krishna, not for any material wealth or fame or power or liberation. So that's why this Hare Krishna mantra is also, what does it mean? Hare Krishna mantra is not asking anything from Krishna. It is simply a prayer addressed to Krishna to please engage me in your service. That is the meaning of this mantra. So therefore, when he chants Hare Krishna mantra, he is already praying to Krishna to kindly engage in his service. That repeatedly, that is the only, and that's what is we are supposed to meditate. Hmm? So just like when the sun rises automatically, there is no value for the small lamps. Similarly, when bhakti arises, The small lamps like dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, it becomes secondary. So a devotee need not have to ask, for anything from the citizens because he is already a servant of the king. When he is already a servant of the king, what is the need of going and asking for some few pennies from the citizens? There is nothing this required because the king can provide everything. So a devotee, Prahlad is saying, a devotee should only aspire for Krishna's service, to be a servant of Krishna. So the conclusion is the highest devotion, love of God without personal motive. Prema Pumarto Mahan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying. Hmm. Therefore, he is teaching his classmates that pure bhakti brings all blessings. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, everything is included in that one. We don't go into ask separately. Just like the example is given, just like small streams lose importance when they reach the ultimate ocean. So Krishna is the ultimate ocean. So when you attain Krishna, all these things are petty things. Even Dhruva also, after seeing Krishna, what he said, Swamin Krita Tosmin Varam Nayache. So I was looking for broken pieces of glasses, but I achieved now rare diamond. So this is his conclusion. So we have to take lessons from these great devotees. Okay, text 26. धर्मार्थकामा इति यो अभिहितास्त्रिवर्गा निक्षात्रयीनयधमो विविध च वार्ता मन्येतत् एतत् अखिलं निगमस्य सत्यं स्वात्म स्वात्मार्पणं स्वसुहृद परमस्य पुंसः. Can anyone read the translation, please?
NIG,
Yeah, please go ahead.
religion, economic development, and sense gratification. These are described in the Vedas as three varga, or three ways to salvation. Within these three categories are education and self-realization. Ritualistic ceremonies performed according to Vedic injunction. Logic, the science of law and order, and the various means of earning one's livelihood. These are the external subject matters of study in the Vedas. And therefore, I consider them material. However, I consider surrender to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu to be transcendental. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. So, what Prahlad Maharaj is saying that Dharma, Artha, Kama, so one may ask this question, if these things are, why these things are mentioned in the Vedas, or why it is recommended? So Prahlad Maharaj is giving this answer actually that although these three things are given because people are very much attached to all these things, therefore, for them to come to the highest standard of surrender to Krishna for pure love, that's very difficult. Just like, for example, if a person has to become a doctor or engineer, he cannot suddenly take the higher studies. He has to go through step-by-step process, right? So same way, some people who are attached to all these things, these incentives are given in the Vedas. If you do this kind of particular yajna, if you do this one, you will get this. But gradually, by following these things, one should come to the highest platform. That's what the Bhagavad philosophy says. Hmm. So here, all these things, this religion, economic development, and sense gratification, it is called as three varga in Vedas. But why Prahlad Maharaj is saying all these things are material? Hmm? So that we need to understand. So externally, we may say, that's why in the Bhagavatam, we have studied in the second class itself, that the Bhagavatam says, Dharma projigata kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam. So in that it means that religious religion which that religion is called cheating religion because it it encourage people to do follow dharma artha kama only, not giving the ultimate purpose of following this thing. That religion is called cheating religion. So anything performed for material benefit, even if sanctioned by the Vedas, is still within the realm of material existence. So that's what we need to understand. That's the difference between Bhagavad philosophy, why we consider as a topmost. That we will see now. Because why Dharma, Artha, Kama is considered material? Because they are centered on the body. Because it doesn't give any knowledge of the Atma or the Super Soul. All it talks about how to get material prosperous, how to have a nice family life, how to get more wealth, how to become more famous, how to reach heavenly planets. These are all talked. Even in Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas are mainly dealing with subject matter which are three modes of material nature. One should transcend these three. Nistray Gunyo Bhavarjuna. So, if you see, many people are interested in studying the Vedas, but the Vedas are talking about all these things mainly. So, Krishna is saying, be transcendental to all these things. Don't be entangled. The ultimate purpose of this thing is to elevate to the highest platform. That's why Krishna says at the end of the 12th chapter, he is saying that one should surrender unto him. After giving different kinds of dharma, finally he says, Sarva dharman parityatya mamekam sharanam. You surrender. The highest dharma is to surrender to Krishna. Hmm? So we should not be bhuktikami. One who desires material enjoyment, even if he performs religion, his consciousness remains material because he is too much attached to all these things. So then Prahlad is saying, why are education and scholarship is also material? Because the knowledge is judged not by quantity but by its ultimate purpose. Right? So generally in today's situation, everyone is interested to give good education to their children, make them very, prosperous in their material life. That is good in one sense, but they should also understand what is the ultimate purpose of studying education or whatever, doing rituals or living a comfortable life. That is not the goal of life. The goal of life is what? To please Krishna. Hmm? So the goal of performing any rituals or studying any education, you should utilize all these things in the service of Krishna. Otherwise, Shrama evi kevalam. The Bhagavatam says it will be a burden. Hmm? So we have to do the necessary things to lead a comfortable life. At the same time, we should not forget what is our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is we have to render pure devotional service to Krishna. Hmm. So the limitation in karma kanda rituals is for material benefits. So there are many processes. The yajnas are performed to get good progeny, wealth, health. All these things are mentioned in the Vedic rituals. These are called karma kanda portions in the Vedas, the fruity section of the Vedas. So we should not get caught up only in doing rituals. So doing only rituals is pure devotional service is completely different from ritualistic ceremonies. That we need to understand. This Bhagavad philosophy is pure love for Krishna. It has nothing to do with all these temporary material benefits. So a devotee who is following the path of Bhagavad Dharma, there is no need to attach to all these karma kanda portions of the Vedas. Because simply by rendering devotional service, all his needs are fulfilled. So therefore, we need to understand. So Prahlad is saying another that just like there are poor cell and luxurious cell is there, right? Prison house. So VIP. Sometimes the VIPs are given in a very luxurious prison, but both are prison. So some people who are interested in going to the heavenly planets, it's like going to the luxurious prison. That's all. Because wherever you go, the problem of material existence remains. What is the problem of material existence? Can anyone say what is the problem? Even if you go to highest material planet, Brahmaloka, there are problems are there. What are the problems?
जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि.
Yeah. So even if you go to Brahmaloka, there is a problem is there because everyone is for there also this problem of birth, death, old age and disease is there. So simply we should not aspire for going to the topmost material planets. That is not the aim of a devotee. So what is transcendental is surrender to Vishnu. So we should avoid this three varga. Our aspiration is not for this three varga. Our aspiration is Pada Sevanam, service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu for Krishna's pleasure without any selfish motives, out of pure love. And that can be performed by anyone. Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. So even a devotee, poorest of poor devotee, can offer Krishna a leaf, a flower, a fruit, water, can be offered by anyone. With love, if you offer, Krishna will accept it. And that's what Krishna wants. So that is pure devotional service. So pure devotional service is not very difficult. Anyone can do it in everyday's in daily life, daily practice. Chanting, hearing. Now what we are hearing from Bhagavatam, this itself is pure devotional service only. So hearing from Bhagavatam, all these things is simple and doesn't cost anything. Anyone can do it. But we need to understand the difference of pure devotional service and doing karmakanda portions. People make elaborate arrangements to do all the rituals, yajna, but all these things, it does not work in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, the most effective process is pure devotional service. So therefore, Prahlad is giving a revolutionary teaching here. He could have, for his classmates, he could have taught about how to become better morality, achieve better education, or economics, politics, all these things. But he did not teach all these things because that does not transcend the problems of life. That's birth, death, old age, and disease. So by surrendering to Krishna, he only talked about how to surrender to Vishnu. That is what bhakti, and bhakti can provide, take us to the highest level. So the analogy is given that this bird in the cage. So we are the bird living inside the material body, which is the cage, right? And if we are keeping our body nicely, polishing everything, but not feeding the bird inside, that is the Atma, then the bird will not be satisfied. Eventually the bird will die, right? So people who are after is dharma, artha, kama and moksha, but if they are not doing pure devotional service, they don't know the difference, then they will also eventually will not be satisfied. So we should do things which will pleasing the Atma, that is by connecting it to Krishna. That's what is required. Another analogy is given, ladder analogy. It's kama, dharma, artha, kama are different rungs of the ladder, which are in the lower rungs. What is the ultimate? We should not be stuck up in these lower rungs. Ultimately we should reach the top place, that is pure bhakti. Hmm? Pure devotion to Lord Vishnu is the ultimate destination. That's what Prahlad is teaching, that don't be stuck up in these things. Bhakti, we have to reach the ultimate goal. That's important. So what we understand is that ultimately we have to surrender to Lord Vishnu by rendering pure devotional service. Otherwise, whatever wealth, whatever position we have, everything is only material if not connected to Krishna. That we need to understand. So text 27. Jnanam tat etat amalam duravapa마ha narayano narasaka kila naradhaya ekantinam bhagavadastat akinchananam padaravinda rajaspluta dehinam syat. Can anyone read the translation, please?
Shall I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Aarti Mataji, please go ahead.
Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the well-wisher and friend of all living entities, formally explained this transcendental knowledge to the great saint Narada. Such knowledge is extremely difficult to understand without the mercy of a saintly person like Narada. But everyone who has taken shelter of Narada's disciplic succession can understand this confidential knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Artimataji. So, yeah, so here, the Prahlad is saying that he is telling how the Supreme Lord is the well-wisher and a friend of all living entities. And he has given this knowledge, transcendental knowledge, to Narada Muni. First, he gave it to Brahma, Brahma gave it to Narada, and it is coming through this chain of disciplic succession. Right? So, this is very important. So, this confidential knowledge is personally given by Krishna, otherwise, it is impossible for anyone to understand these things. Hmm. So, Narada is a great saint because he is traveling all over the universe for the welfare of the people, and he inspired devotion in everyone by giving pure devotion. So, what is the knowledge he gives? Realization of the soul, understanding about Krishna, and then pure devotion and liberation. Automatically, you get liberated by this knowledge. So, we have to get this knowledge through the disciplic succession. Narada, he gave to Vyasa, then Madhvacharya, and then it comes to the disciplic session through Prabhupada and so many of his disciples. Now we are getting this knowledge through the chain of disciplic succession. So as it's very difficult, this knowledge can be only, we can get it by the mercy of the devotees only. Otherwise, it's not possible for us to understand. So Krishna is the source of knowledge of everything. Narayana is the original teacher. So when Brahma was created, he wanted to create this material world, he forgot the knowledge which he got earlier. So he has to do tapasya. So Krishna has to give all this knowledge through his heart. Tene Brahma Hridaye Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Suryaha. So Krishna transferred the knowledge to Brahma's heart. So from there, so Krishna is the original teacher. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. So Krishna gives this knowledge. To understand Krishna, we have to take knowledge directly from Krishna, just like he is giving to Arjuna. Same, so we are fortunate to get this knowledge because we are in this disciplic succession. So this chain of transmission is called disciplic succession, called parampara. So through this evam parampara praptam, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in the chapter 4, text 2. This supreme science was received through the disciplic succession. So therefore, this knowledge is called avaroha pantaha, means we have to get it from the top. In the material world, we get knowledge from bottom, there also we have to get knowledge from the teachers. But some people, they try to understand this material world by doing their own research work, but that does not work in spiritual. If you want to get spiritual knowledge, then you have to get it from proper bona fide teacher who comes in the disciplic succession. That's why the necessity of mercy is required, kripa. Only if the spiritual master is satisfied, then we can get the knowledge from him. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Can anyone remember which sloka Krishna talks about it? How to get spiritual knowledge? Krishna, what does he
Prabhuji,
Yes, go
Prabhuji,
ahead.
I don't remember the shloka, but we must approach the spiritual master with humility and is that the shloka, Prabhuji?
Yeah, exactly. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Inquire from him, approach a bona fide spiritual master, render service, inquire submissively. Then When he is pleased, then he will impart the knowledge. So that is how it works. So spiritual knowledge, if we have to get the mercy from the spiritual master or his bona fide devote representatives. Then only the heart transformation happens. So that is very important. So this is not like material knowledge. Today's knowledge is that like students, you pay fees to the college and then the teacher is obliged to the students to teach and you can get this knowledge. It is not like that. So Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, these books are available from very long time. People can read. Why they are not reading? Why their lives is not transforming? So nobody, even in material knowledge also, nobody can become a doctor or engineer simply by studying, buying the books from the stores, and then you become a doctor or engineer. Unless you go and trained under a senior person. So same thing applies here. So Krishna Kripa, mercy, can be obtained only by following the instructions of the Guru. We have to please him. So by sincerely following pure, practicing devotional service and pleasing by service, then we get it. So there are many people who are sitting in a dark cave, and therefore to realize the sun, they have to come out of the cave. Then only they can see the sunlight. So therefore, when the soul comes in contact with the spiritual master, then by saintly association, then the spiritual knowledge is revealed. So Narada Muni is the greatest devotee in Vedic history because he is a pure devotee and he is full of compassion, fearlessness, and constantly he is glorifying Krishna. By his mercy, he even transformed a most degraded person also. Can anyone recollect who are the devotees he made? Even a great sinful person, he made a great devotee by his mercy. Sorry? Praglad is okay, but another character who was doing very sinful activities.
Activities he has made devotee, right?
Prabhu.
Yeah, your voice is not clear. I'm not able to hear.
Valmiki.
Yeah, Valmiki was a hunter before. So Narada Muni, he met him by his mercy. He asked him to chant the name of Rama, right? But he could not chant the name of Rama. So he made him to chant Mara, Mara, Mara. And by repeatedly chanting Mara, Mara, he started to chant the name of Rama. Then eventually he became Valmiki, who was he was the compiler of Ramayana. So such is the potency of Narada Muni. And even in his life story, in the first canto, how he became a devotee by serving the devotees who was staying, who was actually staying, who was having the remnants of the food of the saintly persons, he also became a great devotee. That is the power of association of devotees. Like Prabhupada, how he went to America, the people were there are all very sinful people. But by giving his association, he converted everyone to become he converted many people to take up pure devotional service. So this is the science that one has simply by getting great association of the great devotees, one can develop pure devotion to Krishna. So we'll see the last sloka of this chapter. श्रुतं वेतान्मया पूर्वं ज्ञानं विज्ञानसंयुतं धर्मं भागवतं शुद्धं नारदात् देवदर्शनात्. Prahlad Maharaj continued, I received this knowledge from the greatest saint Narada Muni, who is always engaged in devotional service. This knowledge, which is called Bhagavad Dharma, is fully scientific and it is based on logic and philosophy and is free from all material contamination. So Prahlad Maharaj concluding his teachings by saying that how he received this knowledge from Narada Muni, who is a great devotee, and it is full of logic and scientific. It is not a blind faith. Hmm? So that we'll see how is that. So the central message is Krishna consciousness is not a sectarian belief, or it is a emotionalism, or it is a blind religion. It is a scientific spiritual process received from realized souls, and everyone can verify through logic, philosophy, scripture, and practical realization. So this is the conclusion of Prahlad. He's telling his classmates that don't take it just because I am saying. You will realize it. If you analyze it, everything is there in Bhagavad philosophy. Hmm? So the Bhagavad Dharma is eternal occupation of the soul in relation with Bhagavan. So by following this process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Sevanam, Archanam, what happens is that one can personally realize it. Hmm. Hmm. So why is this Bhagavad philosophy is different from other religion? Most of the religion teaching people how to get material prosperity. But here the Bhagavad Dharma teaches us how can you please Krishna. It is based on love and service. It is not based on uh, give a you do a business with God. That is not that is called cheating religion, and that is not accepted here. So why does Prahlad call it scientific? Because science means what? You do some experiment, you test it, and then you realize the result. You see the result, and then your conclusion is made. Just like the example is given that water boils at 100-degree means. So when the water is boiling and you measure the temperature 100-degree and you see the water is boiling, so then you conclude. So here also anyone who is sincere up to hear about Krishna, chant his holy names, and he associate with devotees and take Krishna Prasadam, immediately he can feel the presence of Krishna in the holy name. His mind is getting purified and he is advancing in spiritual life. That is the test here. So if anyone is not hearing or chanting or associating or not reading, he cannot have God realization. That is not possible. But if someone is sincere, then if he does all these things, then immediately he can realize Krishna. Purification happens, and then he can detachment, peace, and love of Krishna. All these things a devotee can feel. It is not that only that okay, you practice Krishna consciousness, you will get liberation at the end of the life. That is there. But even now, a sincere devotee who practices, who does all these things, his practical devotional service, he can experience, he can come closer to Krishna, he can feel the presence of Krishna, he can associate with Krishna when he does follow this path of Bhagavad philosophy. So, bhakti is not a blind faith, which is a common misunderstanding for the people. Many people say that bhakti is it's kind of blindly you have to follow. There is no logic, there is no reason, there is no way you can test the results. No, it is not like that. It is completely scientific, and you can see the results. So it is because it has got the all logic and philosophy. Now, whatever teachings we have been hearing from Prahlad, he found that how it is so logical and what practical what Prahlad is teaching. He is not talking anything which is not relevant or something very non-practical things. So this is the effect of hearing Bhagavatam. So why is that logical inference? Just like the watch, it is says that if you can see a watch, then immediately we can come to a conclusion there should be a watchmaker to make the watch. Same way, if you are seeing the creation, then logic conclusion is that there should be someone who has created it. Otherwise, how is this creation which is going on in a particular order? So we are seeing the sun is rising at a particular moment, and then it is setting at a particular time every day. It's going in a particular order. All the planetary system, they are all rotating at a particular speed. Even our own planet Earth, it is so wonderfully designed. So it provides all the comforts for the living entities. Seasonal changes are happening, right? As soon as the summer season is there, the mango fruit is given, the juicy fruits, watermelon is there. How is this correct? Automatically, all these things are happening. The scientists are not making all these things in the laboratory. So, who is doing all these things? So, any logical man, sensible man, reasonable man can understand that there is a creator. So, only an insane man can say that there is no creator, there is no God. Because his mind is polluted, he cannot understand. But any reasonable person will come to a conclusion there is a creator behind the creation. So why this Bhagavad Dharma is superior? Because most system you are futuring are focusing on improving our material life, but Bhagavad Dharma focus on transforming the consciousness. Just like the example is given, a hospital that treats the symptoms, but a great physician, he removes the root disease. So this Bhagavad Dharma address the root disease. And what is the address? What is the root disease? It is the forgetfulness of Krishna. And therefore, the Bhagavad philosophy recommends that real solution is remembrance of Krishna again and again. It is teaching from the great lives of the devotees. Right? So, that's why this Bhagavad Dharma is superior. And what is the proof? The proof is Prahlad himself. Even though he was a small child, he was surrounded by all the demons, tortured by his own father, but yet he remained fearless, peaceful, compassionate, and Krishna conscious, and he was completely protected. So, this transformation is the practical evidence of Bhagavad Dharma. So, anyone who follows the path recommended by Prahlad, is follow this philosophy, will also face the same result. He will not be disturbed by the so called happenings in this material life. He will be peaceful and develop all these divine qualities of Prahlad. So one can become fearless, peaceful, compassionate, and develop pure devotion to Krishna. So this is what Bhagavad philosophy recommends. So therefore, a student follows the procedure exactly, then the result will be there. Like just like the medical science analogy is there. Medical science works regardless of belief. Similarly, anyone who chants the holy name, doesn't matter whether you are born in India or America or Australia, anyone who chants the holy name, their life will become transformed. Hmm? So therefore, the anyone who chants, then you can see the clearing. The mind is covered with all kinds of dirty things. It will be all cleared. Hmm? Just like in mathematics, 2 plus 2 equal to 4, 4 for everyone. So this principles of bhakti also work same way. Anyone who chants Hare Krishna, then they can realize the Supreme Lord. So Prahlad is saying, this is not my opinion. This has come from my spiritual master Narada Muni, and eventually it come from Krishna. Therefore, it's not a blind faith. So this religion is not a sectarian, it is transcendental, and this will work for everyone. So that's what we need to understand. So the conclusion is what? That from these teachings, what is the teachings? Everything is coming from Krishna. And if we get this knowledge from through the pure devotees like Narada Muni, then we can easily realize Krishna. And it is supported by all the logic and philosophy and centered around loving pure devotional service to Krishna. Therefore, we must follow this principle of Bhagavad philosophy. We should follow simple process only. All Prahlad Maharaj is asking us to do is constantly hear about Krishna, remember about Krishna, and chant his holy name. If anyone does sincerely in every day of his life, then he will gradually progress and ultimately achieve the highest goal of life, that he will get pure devotional service. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining today's class. If you have any comments or question, you can ask. Okay, there's no questions. I hope everything is clear. Thank you very much once again. I'll share these slides in the group, right? Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
thank you, thank you. Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।